Hey there, West Heights. Pastor Josh here, ready to do our midweek check-in. So thanks for joining me. Hey, something that keeps me humble as a pastor is the fact that almost as soon as I am done preaching a message, that I can think of things I would have said differently. Like literally, as soon as the message is over, I can think, wow, I could have said that more clearly, or I should have added something, or maybe taken something out. This happens every single week. And so if you have finished listening to me one Sunday and thought, I think Josh could have said that more clearly. 9 times out of 10, I probably would agree with you. I'm not perfect, and so this certainly keeps me humble. On Sunday we talked about submitting to one another in the context of talking about family. And we talked about how submitting to one another is about us willingly setting aside our need to be first, and to instead, in our attitude and in our actions, to become for one another. See, submitting to one another is about putting others first. And when we do this in the context of our families, something beautiful and something life-giving emerges. And so that was good. And I stand by that. But what I wish I'd emphasized more was how this ability to give ourselves to others really does flow out of what Jesus is doing in us. See, we can try really, really, really hard to be more loving, to be more patient, to be more selfless. And you know what? We can even do it for a little while. But if all we're trying to do is just to be a good person, if all we're doing is just trying to summon up the willpower, then at some point we're going to crash and we're going to burn. As I was pondering how this week's message applied to my own life, what came to mind was the example of somebody that I really look up to. See, in my mind, next to Jesus, they embody what it means to be for others. They're a good listener, they're self-controlled, and they're patient. They handle bad news well, and they're just an excellent source of support. Are they perfect? No. Goodness, no. But over the years, I've watched them change in some really positive ways. And one of the key habits that I know is a part of their life is a clear time with God in their day. That before the demands of the day take hold, that they have sat with Jesus and allowed Him to speak into their life. And you know what? This shouldn't be surprising. Because Jesus Himself steps away from the crowds numerous times to be alone and to be alone with God. Well, with all the things that we try to get done in a given day or in a given week, this time to be alone and to be alone with God, well, this is what often gets pushed out. And so what I'm thinking about today is whether I can really afford to not sit down with Jesus. On my own, I mess up this being for the people in my life really easily. And I know that I need what Jesus can give me. And so I can't afford to not spend time with Him. And so as we check in with each other this week, the thought that I wanted to leave with all of us is just a reminder of something that we already know. That time we spend with Jesus is so key, not just for us personally, but for the relationships that we have with other people. Anyways, that's the little bit of my message that I wish I included into Sunday's teaching time. We love you. We miss you. We're praying for you. Looking forward to connecting again on Sunday. Talk to you soon. Bye.